Hello viewers, happy to see you again through the Guitar Trainer channel. Today we are going to see how to write the musical notes on the staff, or it can be also called as stave lines. How to write the notes on the stave lines. So you may ask why you have to write the musical notes on the stave lines. Already we discussed about all the musical notes. Just like that we are writing it in alphabets. Why can't we keep it as it is, just like that, writing it as alphabets? Why it is necessary to write them on the stave lines? The reason is there is not only one C, one D, one E, one F like that. We have C in different pitches, low C, middle C, high C, like that. All the notes we have the same note names in different pitches. So it is necessary to show. If you write it in alphabets, you may not know which C, which E. So we write it in the set of 5 lines called as stave lines. And also along with that, if you write in the stave lines, you can mention the value of the note also, how long to play the note. If you write it just like that as alphabet C, how will you know how long to play the note? It is a short note or it is a lengthy note. So if you write it in the stave lines, you can mention both which C it is, low C or high C, like that. You can mention the note as well as you can mention the value of the note also. So let's go to the lesson. The staff consists of 5 lines, total number of 5 lines, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. While counting the lines, you have to count from the bottom to top, not from top to bottom. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Remember our fingers, 5 fingers are there. In between we have 4 gaps. No, same way here you have 4 spaces. Spaces we have 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So the notes can be written either on the lines or it can be written on the spaces also. So we have a chance to write the note on the line, or we can write it on the space also. As we are going to practice guitar, don't get confused with the number of strings in the guitar and the number of lines in the staff. Okay, that is different. This can be used for any instrument. Through this staff and notation method, the same way you can write the musical notes for guitar, violin, flute, whatever it is. The notes are same. It can be used for any instrument. This is not only for guitar. This is a common method to write the musical notes. First, let's see what are the notes which can be written on the lines. Before writing, you have to see, you can see a symbol which is called as treble clef. The symbol is called as treble clef. This can be also called as G clef, treble clef or G clef. There are different types of clefs. Bass clef is there, alto clef is there, tenor clef is there. But for learning guitar, it is enough if you know only about treble clef. And then if you are going to play bass guitar, it is good to know about bass clef. Now let's see only about treble clef. So if you write a note on this treble clef, first line, if you are writing a note on the first line of a treble clef, it is E. This is a note head. What I wrote is a note head. We have different types of note heads with different symbols that we'll have it separately in a different class. So if you write a note on the first line, that note name is E. If you write a note on the second line, its name is, the note is G. If you write a note on the third line, the note name is B. If you write a note on the fourth line, its name is D. And the note which comes on the fifth line is F. Okay, it may be little confusing how to remember these letters, the alphabets are somewhat jumbled, E, G, B, D, F, like that. But we follow a simple method. Instead of remembering them as single letters, we can assign some words to these letters. For E, we can assign a word every. For G, we can assign a word green, every green. For B, we will assign a word bus. For D, we will assign a word drives. For F, we will assign a word fast. Okay, instead of remembering as single letters, you can remember it as a sentence. The sentence is every green bus drives fast. Every green bus drives fast. Notes on the lines. To remember the notes on the lines of a treble clef, remember this sentence: every green bus drives fast. Okay, so now it will be easy. Now let's see the notes which come on the spaces of a treble clef. Space. Here, if you write a note on the first space, name of this note is F. If you write a note on the second space, it is A. Note which is written on the third space is C. And then the note which is written on the fourth space is E. Okay, notes on the spaces: F, first space is F, second space is A, third space is C, fourth space is E. Okay, shall we add some words to these letters? We don't have to do that. Why? Because it is easy to remember. All the four letters together forms a word. Space, face. Notes on the space, face. The pronunciation itself matches. Space, face. Notes on the space, face. So suddenly someone is asking you what is the note on this fourth space, means you can count like notes on the spaces will be F, A, C, E, face. So F, A, C, E, like that you can easily count. Now we'll see the continuation of these notes. What is the theory behind it? Okay, how it is formed. So let's see what is the note which is written on the first line. Note which is written on the first line is E. Okay, after E, see what is the musical note which comes after E. What is the next musical note? According to the order, after E it is F. See here, F is on the space. F is on the space. After F, what is the next musical note? G. See here, G comes on the line. So it is a simple concept only. Notes are written like line. One note on the line means the next note comes on the space. The next note comes on the line. The next note comes on the space. Line, space, like that. The notes are arranged on the stave lines. G is on the line. A comes on the space. You see, A is on the space. A is on the space. A is on the space. B comes on the line. Okay, B comes on the line, middle line. This can be called as middle line or third line. B is on the middle line. B is on the line. C is on the next space. C is on the space. Next note is on the line. D is on the line. So the next note E comes on the space. Simple. Got it. So we wrote all the notes on the lines and spaces. So we finished all the lines and spaces. After E, we can write one more note. Fifth line is F. Fifth line is F. So we used all the lines and spaces. E is on the line, F comes on the space, F is on the space, next note G comes on the line, G is on the line, A comes on the space, A is on the line, B comes on the, A is on the space, B comes on the line. So it goes like that, line space like that. But you may ask, we have few more notes, not only these notes, still after this F you have G, A and all. So how to do that? See here, we wrote the last ending on the top is F. F is on the fifth line. After that we don't have any line or space. So let's see, after F what is the next note? The next note is G. The next musical note is G. Think that there is a imaginary line running over the fifth line. Imagine that there is a sixth line running over here. If you have a sixth line just like that, simply I am drawing, this is the sixth line. Assume that this is the sixth line. So where will you write the musical note G? F is on the line means G should come on the space. G comes on the space. Okay, now I will erase this. G is on the space. Okay, it came above the stave line. It will be called as just above the stave line. Now G is on the space. What is the next note after G? The musical note is A. So A should come on the line. So now what we'll do, instead of drawing lengthy lines again and again, sixth line, seventh line, what we do, we put small line called as legger line. We put small lines like this called as legger lines, and we write the note on it. Got it? G is on the space, actually just above the stave line. So A comes on the small line which is called as legger line. Legger line or ledger line, you can call it as ledger line. Spelling is this only, ledger line. You can pronounce it as legger line also. Okay, A is on the line now, first legger line. Instead of calling it as line, you can call it as clearly as first legger line. So what will be the next note after A? The next musical note is B. So there is no line. Think that one more line, a sixth line, seventh line is running like that. If you think, B will be written above this line. Okay, so this is B. Okay. The same way it will happen on this side also, going lower and lower also. E is on the line. So what will be the previous note? The previous note will be D. Previous note will be D. There is no line. If you imagine that there is one more line running below this first line, this will be the place where D will be written. Okay, D means it is something like it is written on the space. Below that, if you have one more note, what to do? That note should come on a line. So instead of drawing lengthy line, we are putting a small line called as legger line. Call it as a legger line. So this is C, and then this note is an important note which is called as middle C. This is the C which comes in the middle octave of the keyboard. So this is an important note for keyboard. So below C again you can write. So C is on the line, B should come on the space. So you can write the previous B note below the line, below the first legger line. The legger lines are differentiated like first legger line above the stave. While pronouncing, you have to tell it as first legger line above the stave. Where is this A note? A note is on the first legger line above the stave. Where is this C note? C is on the first legger line below the stave. This is how we write the notes on the lines and spaces of a treble clef. Along with this, you may have one more doubt. We have, along with this normal natural notes, we have sharp notes. We discussed about sharp notes, C, C sharp, D, D sharp, like that. How to write those notes? For the sharp notes, we don't have any different another symbol kind of thing. What you have to do, just before, if I want to write A sharp, means there is no separate symbol. Along with A, before A, we'll mark a sharp. That symbol will be marked. If I want to mark D sharp, means just before D we will be marking that sharp symbol. So this note will be considered as D sharp. Okay. Along with this is not enough. Just we learned how to write the musical notes on the stave lines. Along with that, we have to learn how to calculate the value of the note. The note head, you will have different types of symbols for this note heads, darken one, hollow one, like that. So this one which I wrote is called as semi-breve, which is for 4 counts. So these things we are going to learn. So on the upcoming classes, the next class will be learning about reading the note values of musical notes. After that we will start our practical lessons. Okay, bye.